Hey guys, it's Billy. We're talking about Jesus and politics in this series, and we're on part one. And it's really interesting that politics is not my favorite topic, but talking about Jesus and politics, I love. And I love it because of how Jesus approached politics, how he thought about politics. Um, the deal is that he approached everything pretty much differently than anybody else, certainly in his day and age, and probably in our day and age. I mean, what if Jesus showed up today? If he was living in America, if he was born and raised in America, whatever, if he had moved to the USA, I'm currently making this series. I don't know when you're watching this video, but I'm making it January 2016, right before the February primaries for the presidential election, for the Democrat primaries and the Republican primaries. But so anyway, it's a politically charged climate, and it's just like, how would Jesus react? I mean, would he be posting on Facebook about the different policies that he really supports strongly? Would he be reposting and sharing all these different articles from all these different news agencies, about this, arguing back and forth between these two different ideologies and these two different parties? I mean, would that be the passion of his life, politics? And what we know is that politics was not the passion of his life when he was here on earth. And it very well could have been. I mean, he grew up, he lived in a time of a very bad political climate for him and his people because they were essentially prisoners of war. They were living in a military state because the Romans had taken over Israel and ruled all the Jewish people, and they paid taxes to Caesar, right? And common thieves were punished by being crucified on a cross. There are some good policies he could have fought against. There are some things that were not right in his day and age that he could have fought against, and yet he never really mentions politics or changing government policies or the rulers on earth at all. Now, he does mention the rulers on earth. He does mention governments one or two times, and one time is in the book of Mark. Go to chapter 10, verse 41 through 45, and it's a time when James and John are kind of arguing over they want to be seated at a place of honor when they get to heaven. And so he's talking to them, and then he says, listen, he calls all the disciples together. He decides it's important enough for everybody to hear. And he says, hey, you know that the rulers in this world, that's the politicians and the Caesar and everybody, right? They lord it over the people, the fact that they have power. The officials flaunt their authority over those under them. But among you, it'll be different. Whoever wants to be the leader must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be a slave of everyone else. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many. Now, read those verses again. I read them pretty quickly. But the point is, he's saying, look, yeah, I get it. The people who run this world, right, the people that you see up there, seated, in the places of power, yeah, they usually do not use that power in the right way. They usually do not stay humble. They flaunt it over you. They lord it over you, are the words that he uses. He says, but we're not going to put together a political party to try to take over that seat. And I believe the reason why is because Jesus knew in his heart and his spirit and his mind, he said, that's not valuable. It's not valuable. I'm not saying it's not important, if you want to run for political office or something like that. I'm saying that he knew of something much more valuable. How about that? Now, of course, Jesus was never a wagon repairman, okay? He was never, that we know of, a farmer. He was a carpenter, okay? There's a lot of things Jesus didn't do. But I'm just saying he had very good reason if he wanted to. And in fact, the Israelites believed when the Messiah came that he would overthrow the natural kingdom, the kingdom around them. He would save them from this oppression from the Romans, right? But that's not why he came. He came because what was much more valuable to him and much more important to him were the eternal lives and the spiritual lives and the supernatural realm, right? And that government, right? He said, to that government, there will be no end. He said, he'll sit on David's throne forever, right? To him, that's what was valuable. So Jesus spent his time. Look, Jesus also only had 24 hours in a day. He only had 33 years. He only had 3 years of ministry. I believe Jesus, every single minute of every day, he was thinking, I'm going to serve these people in such a way that no one's ever served them. I'm going to go to the most lost of the lost, the poorest of the poor. I'm going to go to the most downtrodden of the downtrodden, the outcast, the sinners, the tax collectors, the prostitutes, the ones that they're going to say to me, why in the world are you hanging out with those people? I'm going to go to those people and I'm going to serve them in such an incredible way that my life is going to have impact that will carry on to 2016 and forever. I'm going to invest every minute of my life in something that really is valuable, that really is eternal. And I believe that was, that's our first part of our series. It's pretty heavy, right? But I believe the first part of our series is that Jesus said, look, yeah, there's leaders in this world. There's people running for president. There's people running for different office. There's people you disagree with and they've got policies you disagree with. But don't pour your passion into changing that. Pour your passion into serving people. Pour your passion into sharing the kingdom through your service. Pour your passion into letting people know about Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, through your love for people and how you serve people, what you do for people, because that will last an eternity and that will be the most valuable thing you can give them. And that's what I came here to do. So that's part one today. I hope it encourages you. I hope it at least makes you think. I want to end just with a quick story. George Washington, you all know who George Washington is. He was the general that led us in our revolution against the British, and then he was our first president. And the story goes that everybody said to him, they were used to having a king in England, and they said, George, you should be our king. We want you to be we love you so much. You should be our king. And he said, no. I don't want to have absolute power. I don't want to be your king. That's not how it should work. I want to be your president. I can be your president. I can be democratically elected. I want to serve you, not be served. I want to do what's right for you, not you do what I want. We should have the same attitude as that of Christ, who humbled himself, came down from his throne in the form of a baby, gave up his life for us. We should have the same attitude as that of George Washington. He did not seek to become king even when they handed it to him, but said, no, I want to serve you, not be served by you. That's what we should do. And we shouldn't just do it with people we agree with and love. We should do it with people who hate us and disagree with us, right? And we shouldn't live in fear and post on Facebook and say the world's coming to an end, but we should post on Facebook, how can I serve you today and how can I love you today? And that will change the world. And that's what Jesus did. Look forward to talking to you in part 2. Bye.